everybody, and welcome to a brand new adventure. My name is Runescape, and let me introduce you to my new Xtreme One Chunk Ironman, SailingChunk. SailingChunk is going to be starting in beautiful, beautiful Port Sarim. He's going to be following the Xtreme One Chunk Ironman rule set put in place by Limport. If you don't know who that is, you've been living under a rock, and I highly recommend checking out his channel. I'll have links to it down in the description below. I'm also going to be making a few modifications to the base rule set just to fit my playstyle a little bit better and not repeat a bunch of things that a bunch of other people have done. I actually outlined all of these rules as well as a few other things in what I dubbed episode 0 of this series, and I highly recommend that you go check that out. I put a ton of work into it. There's some voice acting involved, infographics. There's also a good bit of lore at the beginning. Every good novelty account needs some novelty lore to go along with it, so there's a fun story to be had, and I plan on continuing that in some of the future chunk rolls that you'll be seeing. If there's nothing else that you do for me, if you don't even subscribe right now after this video, please give me exactly 10 minutes of your time and go check out episode 0. Okay, I'm gonna assume that you watched it. If you didn't, it's okay, I forgive you. Regardless, we need to get through Tutorial Island first, and as every Xtreme One Chunk Ironman tends to do, we're trying to get the least bit of XP that we possibly can here on Tutorial Island. That way we can minimize any of the benefits that we get from going through Tutorial Island before we get to our starting chunk. And that concept continues as we spawn into Lumbridge here, and we immediately drop all of our items. That is, of course, after setting up a few basic settings on a fresh new account. Then we go ahead and make our way through Lumbridge Castle, as well as West Lumbridge, south of the Draenor Jail, being sure to avoid the guards. Stop by the bank, withdraw the 25 GP, drop it, and make our way into our new home, Port Sarim. And as we walk in here for the first time, really getting an understanding of what sort of grinds we're looking forward to, of course we're greeted by all the splashing seagull knights, Port Sarim's finest, and we're going to make our way right over here to where I originally recorded a nice little intro, but I'm doing that in voiceover now. Hello, it is me. I wanted to start in Port Sarim because it's going to be the future home of the sailing skill. I wanted to go ahead and have that unlocked for when it does come out. It's supposed to be like early 2025 or something like that, but I guess we'll never really know until we know. Before we get into the actual chunk tasks, I want to give a huge shout out to one of my favorite Old School Runescape content creators named Josh Isn't Gaming. He actually has a semi-extreme one chunk account that he started in Yanil. And I love his series. He makes his own original music and everything. He's an excellent editor, and I love the way that he lays out all the chunk tasks. So much so that I actually messaged him, and he was kind enough to share with me the actual asset pack that he uses in order to create the little task graphics. So before you continue watching the video, I highly recommend that you click that button on the very top right of your screen right now, and head on over to Josh's channel. Give him a subscribe, tell him I sent you, whatever you need to do. Just know he's an awesome man, a legendary chunker with an even more legendary haircut. So let's go over some of the chunk tasks that we're looking at here in Port Sarim. Luckily there's not too many, but we do have a bit of a grind ahead of us. So, first off, we need to obtain and wield an adamant battle axe, which will require 30 attack. Next, we need to cook a pita bread. This is probably going to be the hardest thing that we need to do. Getting the money to be able to acquire items to cook is going to take a long time because our only real source of money is thieving from men, which, speaking of, we need to pickpocket from a man. That only requires 1 thieving, so that's not too bad. Next, we need to cast Wind Strike, which requires 1 magic, also not bad. And we need to rake some weeds, which requires 1 farming. For the best in slot task, we already have the adamant battle axe on the left. Next, we have the bronze medium helmet, which is going to be our best in slot helmet. We have the bronze square shield, which is going to be our best in slot shield. We have a bronze spear, which is a best in slot stab weapon. We have the wizard hat, which is our best in slot mage hat. And then we have the Iron Dagger, which is our best in slot magic attack weapon, which, if many of you don't know, daggers actually do have a little bit of a bonus into magic attack. And then lastly, our sort of miscellaneous task is that we have to start Pirate's Treasure. We only can do step 1, so that's not going to take very long anyway. I'm not really sure where I'm going to put it, so about right there. There we go. Perfect. Just squeeze that in. Let's go ahead and complete one or more of these tasks so we can have a little bit better looking of a graphic. Alright, so that covers our entire list of tasks. So what a better way to get started than to, well, just get started. First things first, I don't want to unnecessarily train melee without a weapon, which I can buy directly from this shop. So I'm going to go ahead and just start pickpocketing. We'll get a few levels from this, get some coins, and see where we can go. Alright, first successful pickpocket, first try. That is a very good sign for the rest of the account. The back-to-back? Oh, no, account ruined. Alright, there's the first level on the account, level 2 thieving. I'm not going to show every single level, but this is the first, so why not? Alright, here's our first full stack of coin pouches. Let's see how much money this gives us. 84 coins, not bad. We're going to keep going until we get about 182 GP, maybe a little bit more so we can also afford that wizard hat. We got down to 1 HP. We're going to have to sit here and let our health regenerate a little bit because I don't want to spend any of this money on food. While the health is regenerating, I'm going to go ahead and buy this blue wizard hat, equip that, and that is another chunk task. I'm also going to go ahead and start Pirate's Treasure here. Talk to Redbeard Frank. Arr, matey. I'm in search of treasure. Start the Pirate's Treasure quest, and perfect. Well, that's it. That completes everything that we could possibly do on this quest. So, you know what? Let's just get rid of this task altogether from the list. It's really not even a real task. It doesn't even deserve to be here. So let's just readjust this and move on. Alright, I'm sitting here letting my health regen a little bit while doing some more thieving. I'm just doing a little bit of research into the whole food grind business, and the food store in Port Sarim sells some raw stuff. So we got our raw beef, raw chicken, one of each in stock for 1 GP. So that's very GP friendly. There's also pots of flour, so that's how we're going to get our flour for our pita bread. There's also red berries, so we can make some red berry pies and whatnot. Bread's not really useful, chocolate bar's not really useful, cheese, tomato, maybe together with some pot of flour we can actually make pizzas, so that might be our best food, along with the raw beef, which we can make meat pizzas. There's also potatoes, but everything that you can make with potatoes at a low level results in low XP. Now over here in Garrett's Fishy Business, they do sell raw sardines, 200 of which at a time, which would help with the world hopping. But the only problem is that they are 10 GP each, which is very expensive and not very friendly for the budget, unfortunately. Alright, we have 181 GP, and with this single pickpocket, this coin pouch will give us 184 GP, which is 2 more than we need to obtain our first weapon. So I'm going to come over here to the Battle Axe shop, trade Brian, and we're going to go ahead and buy the Iron Battle Axe for 182 GP. And that is our first weapon. So we're going to go ahead and take this, go get ourselves 5 attack, come back, buy the Steel Battle Axe, and then train our strength up to level 5, and then continue from there. Before we get started with our combat in this chunk, it's time for a segment that many of you are probably very familiar with. And a big thank you to Josh Citizen Gaming again for allowing me to use his amazing concept called Fun Unil Facts, but of course this is Port Sarim. So, welcome to Fun Port Sarim Facts. To start, Wyden's Food Store was the first source of bananas, which were both released on April 6th of 2001. This release superseded both the release of the Bones to Bananas spell on May 26th of the same year, and Karumja, which was released a couple weeks later on June 11th. I know, bananas, right? Did you know that the starting point for the Goblin Diplomacy quest used to be in Port Sarim? For over 5 years since its release in 2001, players originally started the quest by speaking to the bartender at the Rusty Anchor Inn. Apparently, this was intended to emulate other RPGs where players would start quests in the most random ways by overhearing a rumor spoken by a bartender or by another NPC. Seems like we've deviated from this pattern though, but I don't know. Let me know down in the comments if there's any existing quests that still follow this methodology. Speaking of the Rusty Anchor Inn, Ahab's Beer, which has been sitting at this same table at the inn since 2005, received an update 10 years later that decreased its value from 2 GP to 1 GP. That goes to show that not all alcohol gets better with age. Ahab's Beer is also the inspiration for this channel's avatar. This has been your first installment of Fun Port Sarim Facts. I hope you enjoyed. Please let me know down in the comments if you want to see more of this. There is going to be one more iteration of this on my next chunk roll towards the end of this video, so stick around for that. But let's go ahead and get on to the rest of the video. We just made our way down to the southern end of the docks, where we're going to attempt to start our first bit of combat. We just regenerated to 5 HP, so let's see how long we can last against these formidable warriors known as seagulls. No matter how tough they are, let's just make sure we aren't going to be hit, because dying to a seagull, that would be pretty embarrassing. It looks like we're hitting them. Oh, good. Yeah, so we're just going to be here for a little bit, train up some skills. Alright, just need one more hit. Come on now. There we go. Alright, first seagull defeated. See you later, bud. Oh, we're also going to get some bones, and that is going to be the first bit of prayer XP on the account. Look at that. Let's go. And there's our first level in a combat skill, 2 attack. Plenty more where that came from. So this just happened for the first time. This seagull ran way over there. Yeah, it was this one. He starts running, and he went all the way into the Forbidden Zone. I did not unnecessarily unlock another music track or anything, so we're good for now, but I guess if I continue training down here on the southern side, I'll have to be more careful of that. Can anybody explain to me why this dude is splashing water wave with a smoke battle staff?
Let me know down in the comments.
I guess he's not here. Alright, let's go train up north. Oh, look, some of these seagulls are level 3. Those two are level 2. Interesting. I'm almost complete with this kill on the level 3 seagull. They do actually have 10 HP. So I think for my prayer training, it's going to be more efficient for me to just kill the level 2 seagulls. So I'll go back to those after this. Welcome to OSRS YouTuber This Is The Level. I am now 5 attack. Let's switch on over to strength. Actually, I need to go ahead and buy my steel battle axe, so we need to shoot for about 550 GP. Since we can sell the iron battle axe for about 100 GP, that'll give us enough to buy the steel one. Okay, I just had what I think is a genius idea. Although many of you watching have already probably thought of this. Why do I need to let my health regenerate when, since I started the Pirate's Treasure quest, I could just come over here, grab myself a white apron, put that on, walk right on over here to the goblin-infested food store, talk with my man Wyden, and say, wait a second, this might not work. Oh, okay, well that gives me the shop interface. And clicking on the door, no. Uh-oh. Maybe you can't get back there until you get further in the quest. Alright, research time. Okay, sad times. The wiki says that you can actually access the back room of the food store after you started the Pirate's Treasure quest, which I did. But I think that you actually have to get to the part in the quest where the crate comes back here before you can trick Wyden into getting you into the back room. So unfortunately, I do not think that that banana right there is going to be our free food source for our thieving training. So we're just going to have to suffer and buy stuff here. But I think I might want to actually go ahead and start doing this because I need to get my cooking up anyway. And this is going to be a good return on investment for at least 6 HP between these two food items. Actually, I'm going to come back over here. Go ahead and fill my inventory, probably hop some worlds to figure that out, and then take them right over there to that same house where the man is that I was pickpocketing from. Cook the meat on the range, use the meat to heal myself while I am thieving from him, trading my thieving up, making more money to come back here and buy more meat to then go back and cook. So it's going to be a vicious cycle. Well, I accidentally attacked this goblin while trying to switch worlds. So we're going to see what sort of loot we get from our first goblin kill. Alright, and this should be the kill. What do we get? 5 coins. Well, better than no coins. Alright, after my first successful inventory of food cooked on that range, went ahead and pickpocketed a bunch, got myself up to 694 GP, so I can go ahead and buy the steel battle axe from Battle Axe Shop. Alright, so the iron battle axe for 100 GP, buy the steel battle axe for 650, and there's my next best weapon. And just like that, there's 5 strength. Gonna go ahead and move back to attack now. Well, I just got my first body runes for killing a goblin. Interesting. Let's see what else we get. Hey, bronze spear acquired. That is a chunk task. Let's go. Alright everybody, good news and bad news. I just got level 10 attack, so we can go ahead and upgrade to the black axe whenever we get the money. But in the process of doing so, I did hit one of these goblins that did just this, and walked into this chunk, and I unlocked the music track, so account ruined. Rest in peace. Alright, a little bit more pickpocketing and the money has been acquired in order to afford the black battle axe. So let's sell the steel one, buy the black one, and there we go, next upgrade. Now we'll go up to 10 strength and then probably 15 attack, 15 strength, 20 attack, and then buy the mithril battle axe. So I was killing some men and women, and I just got the iron dagger, so that is another chunk task. We also just got 5 prayer, so that's cool. And then following that up, we can get our first level 20 on the account. Of course. There we go, 20 thieving. Very nice. Just have to continue killing the men and women until I get the bronze medium helmet, and then that will be all from them. And 2 men later, we have the bronze medium helmet. That is another chunk task completed. I just came over here to Betty's shop, and this highwayman came up and attacked me, which is good because I actually want a cape. I kind of forgot that they could wander in here, so 100% chance of a cape. Let's go. No cape. I thought it was 100%. Hang on a sec. Okay, I was correct. It is 100%, but the highwayman that I killed, the one with the hood, does not drop a cape. The other one, where's he at? Oh, okay, he's gonna attack me again. No reason for me to even fight him because he doesn't drop a cape. But the other one without a hood does. I'm gonna see if I can lure him into here using Wind Strike, which is actually a chunk task. Oh, there we go. Make sure we don't cross into the other. Okay, he just runs away. So, let's get another couple of casts, see what we can do. Because, you know, you don't want to be a RuneScape character without a cape. You look so weird. Alright, another attempt here. Got him. Okay, he's just running away again. Alright, one more try. And, oh, yeah, that's right. You better run. Alright, here's our chance. Oh, he's coming back. Yes. Come here. Attack me. Stand and deliver. Oh, did I run too far? What? Oh my gosh. Okay, so I can attack him from right here. Wait. Okay, now he's stuck on the tree. Okay. Stand and deliver, he says. Well, I would, but just come over here, like one more square, and hit me. Yeah, so right here, he's aggressive to me, but he won't walk any closer. Wow. And there's the bronze square shield. Very nice. Oh, and we actually got a mysterious old man event. You also might notice in the chat box I just got 10 strength. What a clip. Need to finish this goblin real quick, and then we're gonna go ahead and accept that random event. Oh my gosh, another bronze square shield. Should I play the clip again? I'll play it again. Alright, this should be the last one. Yep, that's it. Alright, glass box emote unlocked. One step closer to getting some XP lamps. And that bronze square shield is actually the last item that we needed to get, except for the adamant battle axe. So let's take a look at how the task list is looking now. Obviously we still have the adamant battle axe that we need to purchase and then wield, so that is going to require 30 attack. And then we have to cook a pita bread, which still is going to require 58 cooking. Have not made that much progress into cooking just yet, but that progress is going to come once we stop trading melee stats. And finally we just have to rake some weeds. So, very, very challenging task there waiting for us in the end, but I'm sure we'll be able to get it done. Let's go ahead and finish up the melee training portion of this chunk, so we can go ahead and buy that battle axe and equip it, get that done, and then we'll move on to the cooking. Just got our first chef's hat from a goblin. Throw that on. Oh my gosh. So clean. Look at that. So I chose to kill goblins for my combat training because they actually drop clue scrolls. Now you might be asking yourself, what are the chances of you actually completing your clue scroll with one chunk? Well, let me show you. Goblins drop easy clue scrolls at a rate of 1 in 128 and beginner clues at a rate of 1 in 164. I found this OSRS chunk map that shows the number of clue steps available per chunk. There is actually one beginner step I can do, and that's by talking with this guy, Brian, the owner of Brian's Battleaxe Bazaar. I've done the math, and the chances of me getting a clue step to come talk to this guy is not that bad. It's 1 in 39, or about 2.56%. However, beginner clues have a weird mechanic to them when determining the number of steps you need to complete in order to be given a casket. Beginner clues can range from 1 to 3 steps, but there's only a 10% chance that you get a casket after 1 step. Then there's a 45% chance for both 2 and 3 step completions. Since I only have access to 1 step and clue steps don't repeat, without doing something called clue juggling, which I will get into later on in the series, that brings my 2.56% completion chance down to a 0.256% completion chance. So maybe we do end up getting lucky, but I won't be holding my breath. I've also done the math for getting an easy casket without juggling, but I won't get into the details now since it's even worse. But here's the chance on screen. Not great. So, we're going to continue killing these goblins until we get up to 30 attack, and let's just hope we get lucky. I was fighting a bit of goblins and got pretty low on health, so I just got another big inventory of beef and chicken. I hope this gets me to like level 23. That'd be really nice, but we'll see. And there's level 20. Oh, no, I was way too ambitious. Only got me to level 21. But this was the first inventory where I only burned like 3 of them, so that's nice. You actually stop burning these at around 37 or 38, so I'll definitely get there on this grind. Not a big deal. We have a beginner clue. Let's see what it is. Oh, Bob's axes. Yep, cannot do that. Continuing on the melee training, just working my way up to 15 strength, almost there. And I end up getting a clue scroll, which is in fact completable for me. The one and only beginner clue step that I can do. So let's run over here and hope that this is a 1 step. Be really nice. Alright, Brian, please give me a 1 step here. No 1 step, which means this one's not going to be completable because they don't repeat. And yeah, that's Wizard's Tower, so I'm gonna have to drop that. Hope for 1 later on. Well, my curiosity got the best of me, as you can see here in this chat log. I went over to Veos to just sort of investigate what was going on there. I thought that you had to complete X marks the spot in order to actually travel to Zaya, but turns out that you don't. And this dialogue kind of caught me off guard because it asks you, hey, have you heard about Zaya? And you're like, no, what's that? And he's like, well, hang on, it's going to be a long voyage, and then he kind of immediately takes you there. I did wind up in Zaya. I was on the Port Piscarilius docks. Unfortunately, unlocked that music track and traveled there. Came right back, but the good news is that that means that Port Piscarilius is actually rollable, so I'm going to go ahead and check that on my map. Well, speaking of Zaya, I just got my first ensouled goblin head, and looked it up on a wiki just to make sure, but you don't need to have Zaya unlocked in order to get these at a drop, so I must have just been getting unlucky. Just got the brass necklace. Let's go. Looking pretty good, minus the bronze medal there. But hey, look at that, looking like a real pirate. Just got my first collection log slot, the old frog token. I had to kiss a frog princess to do it, but I got it. And that is 1 out of 1,488 at the moment. Long, long way to go. Well, I'm sitting here watching other Xtreme One Chunk Ironman YouTube videos, and of course, I go way past the attack level. So, Black Battle Axe, your time has come. Alright, let's sell the black one, and buy the mithril. New upgrade, let's go. Alright, so let's go get 20 strength now, and then straight to 30 attack. And there's 20 strength. Now it's time to get 30 attack. And let's check out our clue scroll. Never lucky. I actually diverged from the plan a little bit. I just got level 23 strength, and that's because it gives us a max hit of 5 against the 5 HP goblins. So with any luck, we'll be one-shotting them for a little bit. Alright, now we can work on 30 attack. Let's hope for a max hit or 2 every once in a while. And we just got our first Flippa event, so obviously we're going to do that, get some gems. Let's see what we get. And 5 rubies, not too bad. A singular goblin kill to go. Let's get this guy killed. There we go, that is 30 attack. Very nice. We can finally go and buy the Adamant Battle Axe. Alright, scratch that. Pro gamer move incoming here. I'm going to go ahead and sell the Mithril Battle Axe, but I'm not going to buy the Adamant just yet, and let me tell you why. I don't have a bank. All I have is this deposit box right here, and I need to do a lot of running from that food store over there to that cooking range. So in order to save weight, save run energy, I'm going to go ahead and just deposit everything into the bank, not have a heavy battle axe on me, and go ahead and start my cooking grind. If I do end up rolling a combat chunk without access to a bank, the bronze medium helmet and the bronze square shield, whatever small defenses they provide, they're pretty easy to get back from the goblins, so I'm not too concerned about that. But I do want to not have to get the Adamant Battle Axe back again. So, just going to save that for the end. Alright, I'm going to continue pickpocketing these men and women because I need to get a lot of money to facilitate the level 58 cooking grind. Level 58 cooking requires 224,466 XP. I currently only have 6,940, so that leaves a deficit of 217,526. We're going to be getting our level up for a while using raw beef and raw chicken. When cooked successfully, they both grant 30 XP. In order to get over 217,000 XP, we're going to have to cook a combined 7,251 raw beef or raw chicken successfully. At 1 GP each, that means that our money goal starts at 7,251 GP, but of course we're going to burn some along the way, so we need to obviously have a little bit more. And we still need to have the 4,160 GP for the Adamant Battle Axe. So with our current training method, not accounting for any burns, we needed 11,411 GP to finish this chunk. As you can see, I'm getting pretty close to my GP goal, so this would be the last inventory of healing off of the food that I cook while thieving. And then it'd be straight cooking from here on out. But it is a good thing that I'm knocking out some of the thieving right now, because just north of here, I'm pretty sure Falador guards can wander into this area. So I'm currently level 38, and I think I'll just continue thieving in between trips until I get to level 40. That way I'll have some extra money, and I'll already have the 47 requirement for that chunk knocked out, so that will be very nice. And there's the first full inventory of food cooked without burning one. It's the small milestones that keep you going. And of course I missed it, but there's 40 thieving. After stealing from over 4,600 men, I have about 14k GP to show for it. So I just did a little test to see how long it would take to complete one trip of cooking. Looks like 3 minutes and 48 seconds. So starting in Wyden Store, buying the raw meat, hopping worlds until I get a full inventory, then running to the range with full run energy, cooking all the meat, then running back with full run energy took 3 minutes and 48 seconds, which you can easily round up to 4 minutes with my lack of any agility levels. So let's do some quick math and see how long this will take. Alrighty, the results are in. As mentioned, level 58 requires 224,466 XP. This method costs 0.03 GP per XP, since the raw meat costs 1 GP and gives 30 XP each. It takes 4 minutes for a trip of 27. I need to cook a total of 7,017 meat for level 58, so 7,017 divided by 27 is about 260 trips at 4 minutes each, so that would take a rough estimate of about 17 1/3 hours. At level 35 I do unlock plain pizzas, which are significantly more expensive at a rate of 0.13 GP per XP. At level 45 I unlock meat pizzas, which would be a good way for me to be able to use the plain pizzas by just adding meat to them. And that actually comes out to a little bit less. It's 0.1 GP per XP. So luckily all of these methods are pretty low GP per XP. I need to do some testing to see which of these methods is going to be the best for us once we get to those levels. Once I get to 35 I might try out some plain pizzas, even though they're the most expensive. I'll also have to balance the time that it takes to get more GP to fund the rest of this as a part of the overall calculation, but we need to definitely do some testing first. Alright, time has come to begin the testing. We just got 35 cooking. So this is the last inventory of straight up meat and chicken. I'm going to go ahead and drop these. I'm going to head on over to the farmer over here at the spirit tree patch and buy a couple buckets of compost, because I'm pretty sure this is the most reliable, easy way for me to get buckets. So I'm going to buy the buckets of compost. I have to go through this dialogue every time, which is not fun, but I'm going to buy 13 of them and then empty them. That way I have empty buckets. Then I'm going to run over to my one and only water source within the chunk and fill up the buckets before running back to Widens and starting the timer to see how long it's going to take to do one of these trips. Alright, I have my 13 buckets of water. I have my timer on the right, reset to 0. And I have everything set up in the shop to try to do this as quick as possible. So let's see how long this takes. Time. Alright, 4 minutes and 34 seconds. Time to do some quick math. Alright, let's take another look at our little graphic here. First things first, we are now down to 199,834 XP till we get to level 58. That XP total brings our chicken and meat method down to 16.5 hours, and we obviously already have level 35 cooking, so let's take that off for less clutter. Alright, for the quick math on plain pizzas, we cook 13 at a time in 4 minutes and 30 seconds. I went ahead and rounded that up just a little bit because I could definitely be a little bit more efficient with my pizza making. I was kind of struggling the first time around. But anyway, 13 cooked in 4.5 minutes. We need to cook a total of 1,398 in order to get to level 58. 1,398 divided by 13 is 108 trips. 108 trips times 4 minutes and 30 seconds is about 8.1 hours, which, if you notice, is less than half of what it would take in order to do the chicken and meat method solo. So we don't even need to take into account the extra amount of time it's going to take to get the money to fund this bit of a grind, because it's definitely not going to amount to 8 hours. But I definitely do need to figure out how much extra money I'll need to get.
Alright, I did a bit of my quick math, and it looks like for the required ingredients, making plain pizzas all the way up to level 58, we're going to need about 25,164 GP. That should be a good starting estimate to work towards, since we'll be burning some, which will obviously cost me more money, but we'll also be getting more XP for our GP when we get to level 45 by putting the meat onto the plain pizzas. So hopefully it balances out a bit, and we'll only need to get the cash stack to a little bit over 25k GP. So I'm halfway there on the cash stack already, thankfully, but I'm thinking I'm just going to go ahead and get to level 45 because I already have level 35. Might as well just go ahead and get level 45, and then I'll redo the calculation from there to better estimate how much money I'm going to need to finish the chunk.
On that note, cue the pizza making montage. And through the magic of editing, we have now achieved level 45 cooking. Didn't take too long, and now we can continue making pizzas, only we get to add meat to them, which you can't do until 10 levels later for some reason. Even after the pizza has already been made, and you have cooked meat, and you just cut up the meat, and you put it, you don't even cut it up, it doesn't even take a knife, you just use the meat.
Sometimes this game doesn't make sense. Regardless, we have another training method to test out. Let's see if this is going to be any faster. Okay, back to the meat math graphic. First off, we're down to needing 158,636 XP to get to level 58. And with that, the chicken and meat method is down to about 13 hours, and the plain pizza method is down to about 6.4 hours. And let's get rid of that 45 on the meat pizzas as well. Alright, so let's talk about meat pizzas. I've done a few trips now and started to discover a few things. While still keeping my buckets, I can fit 9 pizzas and 9 beef in my inventory. I only have to hop 3 worlds in order to get 9 pizzas prepared, but I have to hop onto 9 worlds to get 9 beef. My success rate for cooking pizzas is only around 70% at the moment, so if I burn a lot of the pizzas on one trip, I have a lot of leftover beef for the next trip, which saves me time by not having to hop worlds. This means the trip times vary significantly based on the burn rate of the previous trip. I measured a best case and worst case scenario, and it looks like it falls in between 3 minutes 30 seconds and 4 minutes and 40 seconds. So I'm going to average that out to about 4 minutes and 5 seconds. Now for the math. We cook 9 meat pizzas at a time, taking us on average 4 minutes and 5 seconds. We need to cook a total of 798 to get to level 58. 798 divided by 9 is 89 trips. 89 trips times 4 minutes and 5 seconds is around 6 hours of work. As you can see, the 2 pizza methods are pretty close, and I probably could have saved over half an hour if I didn't do all this math. But hey, I'm sure there's going to be plenty of grinds in the future where I'm going to have to do this bit of method optimization to understand the best approach, so I better go ahead and get used to it now. While cooking, I got my first Evil Bob random event, so let's see how much fishing XP we're going to get. 650, nice, straight to level 7. This is the next day, but I got another Evil Bob random. I think that was back to back actually. Now straight to level 10. Let's go. Shout out to Reese UIM, who stopped by and asked me about the chunk. I told him about the account goals and everything, and he said he'll subscribe to the channel. So if you're watching this, thanks for checking out the channel. He just got a flip over random event, so he says, "Ooh, I am called to other things." Well, good luck to you, sir, and thank you for keeping me company. Alrighty, well I have everything in my inventory that I need to wrap up the cooking grind for this chunk. I have 480 XP left, and between the few pizzas I have here and the backup chickens, I should be able to get that done. I also have a few pita dough in case I don't get lucky cooking one of those. But while I make my way over here, I just need to go ahead and pickpocket this last little bit of coins to finish off this chunk. I need 4,160 for the adamant battle axe, and I also have to buy a rake for the farming patch. So just a minute or so here and we can finish this up. While I do this, I just wanted to sort of reflect on this first chunk and what it meant to me. For my first experience as a one chunk man, this starting chunk actually had a tiny grind to it. And you know, I've only been at this for a couple of days. There's definitely one chunk accounts out there who've been at different grinds for much, much longer. So I'm counting my blessings here. But yeah, the 58 cooking grind, doing this pizza method sort of introduced me to what it actually takes to get one of these weird one chunk grinds done. Breaking it up little by little and understanding the math behind it and all that sort of stuff really sort of opened my eyes to what it means to have one of these accounts. And you know, I'm not too far and haven't done anything super crazy yet, but I will say if you or anyone else you know is ever interested in starting one of these one chunk accounts, the community is really nice, really helpful. The tools that are added within the RuneLite client and the Chunk Picker V2 that Source Chunk made, there's a lot of really good support and everything like that, so it really makes this account build very doable and pretty fun. I'm definitely enjoying myself and looking forward to whatever I'm going to roll next. It could be really good, could be really bad, but that's kind of the name of the game, you know. But yeah, outside of just a little bit of easy combat and some other tasks like that, this cooking grind was really the biggest thing, mostly because I didn't have that big of a source of income. Thieving from these men were really the best thing that I got. I'm hoping that whatever chunk I get next actually has a better money making method, and if anything, if it doesn't, I guess I hope that I don't have to end up buying anything too expensive from shops, or I get a shop that I can sell stuff to. That'd be nice. So we'll be rolling a chunk here pretty soon. Just need to get the rest of this money. We're closing in on it. We need about 100 more. Yeah, I hope you really enjoyed watching my first chunk here. I definitely enjoyed playing it. It's opening my eyes to what the possibilities could end up being, and it's also a little terrifying, but we will see. Alright, I have all the GP that I need, so let's go ahead and get cooking. First, let's cook this meat. Nice, all done there. Let's do the chicken next. Okay. And then let's make these pizzas. And one more. There it is, level 58 cooking. That's the level that we need. Let's go ahead and add the meat to the pizzas, just because we can. And now finally, the moment that we've been building up for this entire chunk, cooking the pita bread. Here we go, task complete. Amazing, and we cooked all 3 of them, what a good sign. Now we just need to head over here to Brian's Battle Axe shop, buy the adamant battle axe, equip that. That is another chunk task complete. Now we just have one more. And here's my catch-up task. You would know what I'm talking about if you watched episode 0, but I came back here, UI hidden of course, to prevent any spoilers or anything. I just need to get a few coins from my money-making method that I have here, so I can go and afford a rake. Alright, here we go. I have my money. When I talk to Frizzy, I need the UI here in order to be able to actually go through the dialogue. So, can you sell me something? A rake. Yes, it sounds like a fair price. Alright, here's the rake, and then now we rake the spirit tree patch. And there we go, first bit of farming XP, as you can see, current XP 4. And that is the last chunk task complete on the first chunk for the brand new Xtreme One Chunk Ironman. So just for completionist's sake, let's go ahead and take a look at the completed task list. There she is, in all her glory. Port Sarim task list complete. That means chunk officially complete. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at the chunk map and see what sort of tasks lie ahead. Okay, here's our slightly misnumbered chunk map. Let's start here with number 1. I can't actually walk into this chunk since this wall is here, but this is where my chunk unlocking strategy slightly differs from others. If sailing was out right now, I could move my boat into this chunk, so I'm deeming it quote-unquote sailable, so that means that it's unlockable. For chunk number 3, that unlocks charter ships, which gives us a cooking grind. I did see that they actually sell bowls, so I'll be able to make stews, and hopefully that would be easier / faster than pizzas, getting us to the level to make pineapple pizzas. Chunk number 5 gives us the Musa Point docks only, which starts opening us up to Karumja. So there's a charter ship here as well, so this would also be a similar cooking grind. Chunk number 4 is a mining grind, which I'm not too concerned about. I'm actually pretty interested in having a general store. Then chunk number 2 is some easy farming stuff, although I would only have access to cabbage seeds from randomly picking the cabbages in the field. I'd also be able to get my cape from the highwayman without a hood, so that'd be cool. Chunk number 6 is in Trana, which doesn't give us much, but it does have a furnace, so that would open us up to some potential smithing and crafting grinds in the future. Chunk number 7 is the Void Knight's Outpost, which I would love to get. Being able to really start combat would be awesome. Then moving over towards Zaya, chunk number 8, that's just the Port Piscarilius docks, which doesn't actually have anything. And I did double check, you can only first travel to Port Piscarilius docks before you can travel to Land's End. So even though I accidentally included it in this roll, Land's End is not actually rollable. Alright, so let's roll the chunk. Falador Farm. Nice, okay. I know there's not going to be much to do there, but let's check it out. Let's see what the tasks are going to be. Okay, cool. We get to obtain a black cape, like I saw. We need to get Corsair Curse step up to step 1. And then there's a Falador Easy Diary to do, which I think is just browse this shop. So let's go knock those out real quick. I'm not even going to make a graphic for it. It's going to be super fast. Alright, we're entering the chunk for the first time. Let's go ahead and start Corsair Curse while we're at it. Start the quest? Yes. Okay. Oh no. Cutscene in Remington. I wonder if this is going to unlock a music track for us. Oh, probably not, because I accidentally already unlocked it, but we'll see. Alright, complete this. Continue, continue. Yep. Alright, started the Corsair Curse. No new music track, looks like. And yeah, that's done. Okay, next task. Browse Sarah's farming store for the Easy Diary. Done! That was a hard one. Alright, now we need to wait for this highwayman to come over here so we can attack him. There we go. Keep him in the chunk. And then we kill him and get his cape. Alright, he is down. There's our cape. Nice. Equip. And best in slot task completed. Now let's quickly go up here and check out what's going on with these guards. Oh, look, they can wander in. Oh, and this is Falador. I get the music tracks. Oh my gosh. I wanted to quickly pickpocket them, but I almost got sucked into the chunk. So let's wait for them to walk back in here, and we'll at least get a successful pickpocket, and we can complete that medium task, I believe, for the Falador diary. Oh, there he is. Nice, alright. Got the medium task done. So interestingly enough, even though these guys wander in here, none of them spawn in this little corner of the chunk, so none of the tasks related to them actually pop up. But I just wanted to go ahead and get that done. Since they don't spawn in this chunk, their drop table is not considered for things that I can do in a chunk, but they do actually drop seeds, so I might try killing a few here, just so I can get a couple of seeds to plant and get my farming started. Although, kind of getting worked here. There we go, first kill. Nice, I got like a coin. Okay. Well, let's try again. Yeah, I got absolutely worked. But anyway, got my nature rune drop. That'll be handy for the future. Okay, since we're done with the other chunk tasks, I do have one catch-up task, and that is going to be planting some cabbages. Even though farming is passive, cabbages are like level 7 and they're right here, so I'm just going to go ahead and get this done. I almost forgot what you all came here for. Breaking content. Oh yeah, that's nice. And now for everyone's favorite segment, Fun Falador Farm Facts. Did you know that if you pick cabbages from this field, there's a small chance you'll get a cabbage seed as well? This actually works for most non-player owned vegetable patches in the game. Speaking of cabbages, this particular tool leprechaun won't note cabbages for you. When you try this, he exclaims, "A cabbage? Don't you go showing me your cabbage. This whole farm stinks of the tings. Take it away and get it exchanged somewhere else." Finally, does this rooster look familiar to you? Does he maybe look particularly evil? Almost like a chicken? One who has evil intentions? Well, one scaper thought that and sent a letter to the evil chicken back in 2006 through the Post Bag from the Hedge letter service. Shorty Mania wrote, "If you're a chicken, why do you look like the rooster in a Falador chicken coop?" To which the evil chicken replied, "Ah, you speak of Nigel. Nigel is no friend of evil chicken. He is an imbecile and cheats at cards." If the evil chicken is to ever be trusted, we should all watch ourselves around Nigel from now on. This concludes this segment of Fun Falador Farm Facts. Now let's get on with the video. Alright, there's my first cabbage seed. I'm going to need at least 2 more so I can plant a full allotment of cabbages. And there's 2 more. So that's 3 cabbage seeds. I'll have enough whenever I get to level 7 after doing some more raking. I'm just chilling here doing some raking, and I got a mysterious old man event. And he gave me, 1 second, a loop half key. So that's a nice first. And this should be the last bit of our raking that we need to do. There it is, level 7 farming. Now off to the allotment area to plant these cabbage seeds. Alright, and that is the cabbages planted. And I'm not going to wait for them to grow. I shouldn't even be necessarily doing this task anyway, since I marked this as passive, but the allotment patch itself is composted and the cabbages are planted, so I'm going to go ahead and mark that as a task complete for the purposes of catching up. I will pick them later. Alright, so that is the chunk complete. I went ahead and marked the next 3 rollable chunks. We have Northern Draenor, we have East Valley, and we have South of Falador West, I guess. Doesn't look like North Draenor is anything too crazy. It would give us a little bit of a wood cutting grind. It's not too bad. Then we also need to cast high level alchemy, which is not great. Hopefully there would be a good money making method for me there. And then south of West Valley, I'm not entirely sure what's there. I know there's a chain body shop, so maybe a little bit of a defense training, but Other than that, I don't think there's much there. And East Valley we don't want. That's probably the biggest death of all death chunks that I currently have. That's at least 99 mining at Motherlode Mine and a bunch of other stuff, I'm sure. So let's hope we don't get that. Alright, screw it. We're just going to roll. The account's got to go on at some point, right? Okay. Pick chunk. Oh no.